Welcome back to Cards and Comics. How you doing, guys? Today is probably my last mail day of 2023. Got a few cards scraggling in, but this is a pretty cool one because this is a pretty big vintage mail day with some cool 90s cards thrown in. But these are some of the best vintage cards I picked up in quite a while, so I want to show them off. We'll start here with some pickups for some sets I'm building. So this is a pretty cool card. This is a 99 Bowman's Best Todd Walker Atomic Refractor. And the thing that's cool about this card is that, I think Todd Walker might make the Hall of Fame. It's really appearing that he is going to. So I numbered out of 100. Again, I love the set. I love the 99 refractors. I'm not ever seeing, people talked about, like, in my comments, the 98 set's a lot prettier, and I agree. But I do think it's unique, and it's just nostalgic for me. But I don't think they're bad. I think they're pretty darn awesome. And again, I love the set. I'm putting the sets together. I'm putting both the refractor and the atomic refractor set together, just for fun. And starting with the Hall of Famers, like I normally do. But I think this guy can make the Hall of Fame. He's starting to close in a little bit. But just a cool card to start out with. Next up is a card from another set I'm building. It is the 99 Hollow Tops Stars in Steel holographic domed gold. Big mouthful there, but there you can see that cool, and then you see the edges. You can kind of see that domed shape. The backs are cool as heck as well. So again, there's only 44 cards in this set, and so I've got the Griffey. I missed a Jeter the other day. It sold on auction. Sometimes you just, miss things, or, it's Christmas time. I didn't want to spend all my money on, sports cards. So, I didn't get that card, but, it's cool that one sold. So I'm just happy that maybe I can get the Frank Thomas and the Griffey next year, to close on the set. I'm probably about 15 cards in now. So again, that's like a third of the set already. So, it's a really cool set. I'm really digging it. I don't know how many sets people put together. It'd be cool to know anyone else out there that has that whole 99 dome set. And I might go back and do the 98 set, because 98 set is awesome as well. Next up is I'll do this card first, just because it's cool. And I'm also putting this set together as well. The 1999 Metal Universe Linchpins. Love this set. So here's the Chipper Jones PSA 8. So I've got the Frank Thomas, the Griffey, and the Derek Jeter now. And so here is the Chipper. Again, one of the cooler sets ever done in the 90s. I know they just redid it in hockey. So I did a hockey Linchpins. I wish they would eventually do another baseball set. Love to see some of the modern, like Mike Trouts and those kind of guys on a card like this. One of the cooler sets in the basketball version of this card. These cards are also amazing and super expensive. There you go. Closing in. There's only 10 cards in this set, so I have 4. So almost halfway done on this set. Very cool. Next up is a cool card I got for my Frank Thomas collection. So I know it's probably going to be hard, but maybe I can get it in the light to show you this kind of like foil leaf stars and rookie and star, longevity card. So this card has got foil and embossing, or not embossing, but gold stamping. So it's the longevity version, and it's numbered out of 50. There you go, 47 of 50. So no, I mean, they're not, I would call them, they're okay looking. I mean, the foil with just the stamping isn't the greatest technology. I mean, honestly, this looks like a base card for most years. So I guess, 98, this was the parallel, one of the parallels in the set. I think it was like the blue, like the true blue, or there's a couple, parallels in the set, but this was numbered out of 50. It wasn't too expensive. So if I can pick up, 90s Frank Thomas cards numbered out of 50 on the cheap, I will. And this card was pretty affordable, so I'm pretty happy I got it. I don't own any other cards from this set in this parallel, so this is my first card. So it's cool. It's kind of like the first time I ever got one of those cards. So it's kind of cool just to see it in person. Next up is my one and only Griffey card in this whole mail day, which is very rare for me. But it's a cool one. See, 97 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, and this is not the preview, but this is the actual card from the set. And there you go with that almost like X-Fractor like pattern. You can see the number on the card is Atomic Refractor card number 1, not the preview, the number 1 card. There you go. So Atomic Refractor from 97 Bowman's Best. So I'm starting to close in on all my Bowman's Best Atomics. I need the 96 and kind of the last one. So, I need the 98. The 98 is going to be tough. It's going to be very expensive if I can get that 98 Atomic. We got the 99. So, there's always hope. There you go. 97 Atomic Refractor, Ken Griffey Jr. Super cool card. Super cool. I wish they had back refractors, but they don't. They've been cool if they did, right? Now up to the 2 cool vintage cards. So my experience in vintage cards just a little bit is, there's 2 sets that always seem to be, or there's 3 sets that I always have a hard time getting Hall of Famers out of. It's the 58 58 baseball set, these baseball cards, 58, 66, and 71. Those 3 years, just, for me, pop counts are lower, they're tougher to get, and they don't come up as often. But also, sometimes the cards just don't look very nice from those years. Like, you can find 71s, but maybe they're a little rough, even if they're in good grade, but I still don't like the card. This set, the 58 set, which these cards are coming out of, have an issue with print defects, a lot of print lines, a lot of printing dots, also just very dull colors or yellow borders or, off-white borders. So when I find cards that are really nice from this set, I just generally love picking them up. So here's the first one. It's a 58 Harmon Killebrew, SGC 88. And it's not perfectly centered, but it's good enough. But it's got really nice bright yellow with good, pretty white borders. Very clean back. Just a really nice card for the grade. So I don't have this card, so it's cool to pick up a 50s Hall of Famers. Again, one of my goals for the year was 50s Hall of Famers. So here's a great example of a nice 50s Hall of Famer in real good high grade SGC 88. This card looks super sharp for the grade. Oops, sorry, I don't mean to glare you to death, but there you go. Get a little closer look here. And it's hard to find these cards fully print free, so you're gonna have a little bit, but it doesn't really detract from the card too much. I think it's a really nice, beautiful card. There you go. So that's the first one. But the big card is this guy, and I've never owned this card in high grade. I'm gonna take out a sleeve just so you can see it maybe a little bit better. Took a while to get here because I had to go through eBay's authentication program, but I got it today. Almost a full week after I got the Killebrew. The Killebrew did not go through authentication, but this card did. And I'll show it to you. It's the Ernie Banks. Super stoked to get the Banks. It's been a card on a want list for me for a long time. I had this card at one point, let's say, I want to say around 2000 to 2002. I had run into this card at a show. It was a weird show. I think it was St. Louis, and I was having a hard time finding anything to buy at that show. And I ended up just taking all my cards that I brought with me to sell and bought this card and a PSA 8. And I had it for a while, and I ended up trading it on a Clemente card, which I, back then I'd trade any cards for Clementes, kind of like I do now, just saw at the National. So this card went away, and I didn't ever replace it until today. So it's been like almost 20 years probably since I've had this card. It's a little off center, but again, the center on this card doesn't bother me as much as if it had tons of print and the color was really bad. So to me, I like this card quite a bit. And again, the back is super bright and vibrant. Both cards came from the same seller. I think they came out of the same collection. I think they probably even came out from a similar, time period. It looks like very similar condition and print and everything and color. So it just shows you either the guy curated a very similar collection, or these cards were all bought, from someone who had a bunch of the cards all at the same time. Like they'd open packs, or they'd bought a collection from someone who had, collected as a kid. And that happens. And that's what's great about collecting, is if you buy from one seller a run of cards, you might get very similar quality. And I think this is definitely, his cards were of great quality. And I don't mind the SGC holders. I think they look perfect. I would not bat an eye if these were in PSA 8 holders. I think they are definitely cards worth the grade. I think they're both beautiful. And I just love having this Ernie Banks for the first time in, like I said, almost probably 20 years for me. It's just a card I've always loved. I'm a big Ernie Banks fan. I have quite a bit of Ernie Banks cards. I have a 55 Banks 8, 57 Banks 8, now a 58, 60, a 61, a 62, a 63, 64. I mean, I have almost a full run of 60s Banks cards. So I do have quite a bit of Ernie Banks cards in my collection, but this was one I was really stoked to get, and just love it. So let me know what you think in the comments. And but I've started picking up some vintage again. So I'm happy that I'm kind of back on more vintage cards as well. I took quite a big break there from vintage cards after the National, and I feel like they're kind of speaking to me again. I'm wanting to pick a few more of them. Prices are starting to come back down to normalcy, and I have a big vintage card on my watch list that I might pick up after the holidays. I've got some things cool with work. I've had some good successes there, so I've got a bonus coming that I may use to buy this cool card. And if I get it, I'll show it off, because it's probably one of the cooler cards I want to pick up, and it's something you're probably not even expecting me to have, so it'll be kind of fun to show it off. But here you go, guys. Some vintage cards on the channel. It's been a while since I've had some really cool ones on. And let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.